Hi everyone, this is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about the dplyr verbs part 2. Alright, so let's load the tidyverse first, as usual. This code is copied or adapted from the dplyr tutorial at this link. The first function that I'm going to discuss is the rename function, which allows you to change the names of columns in a data frame. So let's start with a data frame which has two columns called name and sleep total. You can change the names of the two columns using the rename function. So change the column called name to name of mammal, and then column name sleep total to total sleep hours. And now the new data frame has the column names that we want. Next, let's talk about the filter function. You can use the filter function to keep only the rows for which a given logical condition is true. For example, let's say you only want to keep the rows with a total sleep of at least 12 hours. So in the original data frame, the total sleep is sometimes more than 12 hours, but sometimes it's less. I feel sorry for these animals who don't sleep enough. Anyhow, if you filter this data frame to keep only those animals who sleep more than 12 hours, then this is what you get. So now notice all of the animals have a total sleep of 12 or more hours. That's my dream, to be able to sleep that much as well. The next function we're going to discuss is the summarize data frame. Basically, the summarize function creates a summary statistic by aggregating the values in one or more columns into a single number. So for example, you might want to compute the average sleep. So that's what you do is that you would, let me change this code because I haven't taught you about pipes yet. You would summarize the sleep data frame with the average sleep equal to the mean of the total sleep, like so. So that's the average sleep of all of the mammals in the data set. I'm now going to tell you next about the pipe operator. Pipes are useful when you need to call multiple functions to get the answer you're looking for. And using the pipe operator may make your code easier to read. For example, you need to apply functions A, B, and C to some data. The first way you do it is basically calling C on the result of B on the result of A to the data. This code is difficult to read because you have to read it from inside to outside. So first you do A, and then you do B, and then you do C. On the other hand, the second code using pipes is easier to read because you take the data, you apply A, then you apply B, and then you apply C. So to use pipes, basically what happens is the data on the left side gets put into the function on the right, and that gets put into the next function, and so on. Let's look at an example where you want to calculate the average hours of sleep, but only for the mammals whose weight is greater than 100 kg. So the way to write it without pipes would look something like this. First, you filter to keep only the animals greater than 100 kg, and then you calculate the average sleep using the summarize function. If you want to use pipes, this is how you do it. You take the data, then you filter out only the animals whose weight is more than 100 kg, and then you calculate the average sleep using the summarize function. You don't have to write the dots, comma. The dot comma here just shows you that you take this result and you put it in place of the dot, and you take this result and you put it in place of the dot. So if you don't write the dots, comma, you get the same code with the same meaning like so. Right? Basically, pipes allows you to write code that is more elegant and easier to read, but it's a little bit uh, complicated at first. So it might take you a little bit of time to understand what the code means and understand how to write it this way. But you won't regret learning this. Okay, the last function I wanted to talk about is the group by function. Basically, the group by function allows you to split a data frame into different groups, and then you can summarize each group separately. So I'm going to use a simple example to illustrate this. Let's say we have a data frame of students. So these are 8 different students. Perhaps they might be students in this class, and their scores, and of course also their gender. So 2 students are male and the other 6 are female. So let's say you wanted to compute the mean score for grouped by gender. So the mean score for males and the mean score for females. So this is how the code to do it. Basically, you group by gender, so you split it into the males and the females, and you calculate the average score and the count for each, for the male group, and the average score and the counts for the female group, and then you put the results together. Okay, so these are the dplyr functions part 2. See you next time. Bye.